Welcome back to Alice Talks Football, and we are finally live. And yeah, big up to everybody being patient. I actually scheduled my live for 12:15, got stuck in traffic, moved it back to 1 o'clock, got stuck in traffic, it's now 1:40. We were meant to be live nearly an hour and a half ago. I don't know what it is. It's a Tuesday lunchtime, and the traffic is absolutely insane. It's a Tuesday lunchtime. You'd think it was a Saturday. You'd think it was Christmas Eve. Okay, I know. The supermarkets, the traffics, the town shopping isn't always great. I get that when it comes near Christmas. But it's December 16th. I tell you this now, when I said, this could have been Christmas Eve shopping, it could have been Christmas Eve. It should have been a 15-minute drive, 5 minutes in the shop, 15 minutes back. No. Oh my. First of all, I get stuck behind a Doris in a Toyota Yaris going about 20 miles an hour in a 40, then goes about 40 in a 60. Think, then I'm in traffic. Then there's traffic jams. And then this little Toyota Doris, when there's you're in a traffic jam and there's people that are trying to come in off the side road, she's letting everyone in. Fine, let 1 or 2 cars in. Don't let 8 cars in front of you when we've been stuck in traffic for 10 minutes. So I was going absolutely nuts on the way there. So I scheduled my live stream for 1 o'clock. I thought, well, I ain't going to be back for 12:15. I'll schedule it for 1 o'clock. If I thought the journey to the supermarket was the worst bit, I was wrong. Because I get to the supermarket, I'm going all around the car park. The car park has 3 floors. Every single space is taken. It's a Tuesday at midday. Every single space in the car park is taken. So then I'm in traffic because, for me, it's taking me like 20 minutes to get parked because I'm going around the car park. It's not like I can just go out the car park and park on the street because I don't want to nip into the supermarket for 5 minutes. So I'm sat not moving in the car park because there's a car behind me, there's a car in front of me. It's going all the way around the car park. So it was just absolutely mad. I'm in the supermarket. I get my bits. Obviously, everyone in the supermarket acts like it's their first day on planet Earth where they just stand in the aisle with their trolley blocking the whole aisle. Sorry, love. I need to get through. I need to get the spring onions. Thinking I'm only going to be in the supermarket for 5 minutes. The queues. The old ladies that act like they've been on Earth for 1 day, not 90 years. Taking up the whole aisle. You can't walk past anyone. Finally get my stuff. Then it's getting out the supermarket on the way back. It is the traffic. They're just getting out the car park because everyone's just driving past and blocking me in. Can't even reverse my car out the car park. Then I'm in traffic lights. Then the car in front of me again is letting everyone in front. I don't mind letting 1 or 2 people in front, letting 5 people in front. So I'm sitting here thinking, I need to talk about Bruno Fernandes. I need to talk about Man United 4-4 Bournemouth. I've got a live stream. I'm stuck in traffic. So that is your big long story that none of you really gave a crap about to why I am so late for this live stream and why I am just I hate cars. I hate supermarkets near Christmas. I hate traffic and I hate slow walkers and people in the supermarket that just act like it's the first day on planet Earth. I was literally thinking I could just nip to the supermarket on a Tuesday. I was very wrong. And now we are 1 hour and a half behind on Bruno Fernandes on Man United discussion, the most important part of my day, which is quite sad. So there is your long rant. You should have done a car vlog. Honestly, I should have done a vlog. I should have done a vlog. It's Ineos's fault. No, I'm joking, but it's just a long day. But we've got to talk about Bruno. We've got to talk about everything going on with Bruno. I'm actually not that annoyed. I feel like I sound more annoyed in the video because I'm being dramatic, but I'm actually not that annoyed now. I was just like, but the thing is, it is this time of year, don't get me wrong. But I get this on like December 22nd, December 23rd, December 24th. I thought on December 16th, still got 9 days to Christmas. I thought maybe not everybody's in the supermarket. Maybe everyone's off work or the school's broken up. Who knows? Yeah, it's the hierarchy's fault and it's Amarin's fault for the traffic. If we didn't employ Amarin, if we didn't have the Glazers, I would not. No, I'm joking, but yeah. Anyway, let's dive into the news. Let's dive into the conversations because obviously Bruno Fernandes has dropped toward an interview. We've got to talk about Kobbie Mainoo's brother being a bit of a dickhead. We've got to talk about United's interest in Semenyo. There's talk that United are going to make a bid for Semenyo. I might do another video on that tonight, but there is talk that Man United are going to make a bid on Semenyo, but I don't know how true that is. There is quite a lot to dive into, actually. There's talk of a guy going on loan to Nice. There's Bruno Fernandes interview. We will discuss all of this stuff. Hey, we will get into the Bruno interview to begin with. Let me share my screen. Do we need Semenyo right now? I mean, it's not a must, but if Amarin's going to a 4-3-3, then maybe yeah. If Amarin's going to a 4-3-3 and we're letting Xerxes go to Roma, then we will need Semenyo in January. That's what I will say. So this is what Bruno had to say. I'm sure you've seen it, but we're going to read it out. The club wanted me to go in the summer. I have that in my head. I told directors this, but I think they didn't have the courage to make that decision. I decided to stay because of family reasons, but because I generally like the club. The conversation with the manager also made me stay, but from the club side, it felt a bit like, if you leave, it's not bad for us. They said to Bruno, if you leave, you're doing us a favour financially. It hurts me a lot. More than hurting, it makes me sad because I'm a player they have nothing to criticise about. I'm always available. I'm always play. Good or bad, I give my all. Then you see things around you. He's calling out teammates, players who don't value the club as much and don't defend the club as much. That makes you sad. And look, people can look at it at two angles. Bruno is getting on, doesn't suit Amarin's system, could have got a load of money for him, cashed in, rebuilt the midfield, maybe be in a better position. That's what some people argue. You know, if we'd have sold Bruno, we could have used those funds to get Baleba, but Baleba's grown crap this season. And also, yes, the midfield isn't good. Yes, the midfield is bad. Yes, Elliot Anderson would massively improve the midfield. Baleba, if he was playing well, would massively improve the midfield. But there's also the structure of the midfield. We could bring any midfielder into this midfield, and I still think there will be issues with this midfield until the structure is solved. For me, it is like the club is basically... Bruno feels like the club wanted him gone to solve some of their financial issues. Because the club has been such a mess for the last 20 years, so badly run, in such a financial hellhole, the one guy that is probably the only reason we maybe didn't get relegated last season, the one guy that single-handedly carried us to Champions League football in the past, and if it wasn't for him, we might have gone 5-6 seasons without Champions League football. He is the guy that they're like, we're in a financial situation, maybe you can go. Maybe you can help us out a bit. And I get that Bruno's age, I get his wages, I'm getting that he's getting on a bit. But there's players at this club that don't care about Manchester United as much as Bruno Fernandes. There's players at this club that don't care about the future of this club as much as Bruno Fernandes. There's players at this club that can't stay fit for more than 2 games. Bruno Fernandes is always there. He gives everything. He can be frustrating. He has bad games. Do I like Bruno Fernandes playing deeper in Ruben Amorim's pivot? Absolutely not. Do I like Ruben Amorim's pivot? Absolutely not. But do I know that we always play 10 times better with Bruno Fernandes in the team? Yes, because when was he last dropped? Grimsby. We went 2-0 down. We had to bring him on. When did when did Amorim not have him before Grimsby? Oh, we have to go back to Newcastle. We went 2-0 down. Xerxes got subbed off and booed. When was the last time Ten Hag played without Bruno Fernandes? We lost 4-0 to Crystal Palace. People in the summer like, sell Bruno, there's Wirtz, there's Xavi Simons available. Look at Wirtz in the Premier League. Look at Xavi Simons in the Premier League. Tell me they would get anywhere near Bruno. They will not get anywhere near Bruno. Now Kevin De Bruyne has left the league. It is Bruno. Bruno is like here, yeah? Bruno is here. Palmer's just behind Bruno for me because Palmer's got about 3 open play goals in the league in a year. You know, Palmer's just behind Bruno for me, but I think we'll overtake Bruno eventually. Big gap after Bruno and Palmer. Okay, you've got Odegaard, you've got Eze, you've got Xavi Simons, and you've got Wirtz. But it's a big gap. You could argue Szoboszlai with his recent form can fill that gap there. You could argue, but it's Bruno, Palmer, big gap, everyone else. You know, and people say, look, you're overhyping Bruno, you're getting it wrong, we'll be a better team without Bruno. People always tell me we'll be a better team without Bruno and he's a stat merchant. Cherky's been playing right wing. By the way. But Cherky's been doing well. But I tell you this now, Florian Wirtz, if you had sold Bruno and bought Florian Wirtz for 100 million, we wouldn't be any better. We'd be worse. So I don't like this, personally. I think Bruno Fernandes, and I will die on this hill, is going to go down as the most underappreciated footballer in Premier League history. And I'm going to get deluded. I'm going to get called, oh my, you must be brainwashed. But I honestly think that Bruno Fernandes could go down as the most underappreciated footballer in Premier League history. You know, do I like Bruno in the pivot? Did we concede 4 goals? People blame Bruno for all the goals we're conceding. Oh, Bruno, Casemiro, it's a mess in midfield, out of possession, it's a mess. It's not Bruno and Casemiro. It is the way that we set up, we're exposed. You could put Declan Rice and Moises Caicedo in that midfield pivot too, and structurally teams are still going to find a way to run through us. I generally believe that, you know. Bruno Fernandes for me should be playing higher up. Mainoo and Casemiro should be the pivot for control. Amran should also think of actually looking at ways to maybe make the pivot more compact and stop asking two midfielders to cover this much space and maybe let's open out possession. But I generally believe this about Bruno Fernandes, and people might call me crazy. I honestly believe that if Bruno Fernandes went to Manchester City, was playing in the 10 role behind Erling Haaland, Bruno Fernandes would have broken the Premier League assist record, would be in the same conversations as Kevin De Bruyne, and been considered one of the best midfielders in Premier League history. Bruno Fernandes, if he went to Manchester City 5 years ago, won all those trophies, had Haaland, he would have broken the assist record. I think Bruno would go down as one of the best midfielders in Premier League history. I generally believe this, and I will die on this hill, that Bruno Fernandes is one of the best ever players to play in the Premier League, and that he's been thrown into this team. And the fact that he can still perform in a crap environment, whether he's asked to play centre forward, the back end of Ten Hag's reign, the FA Cup final, he was centre forward. Whether it's number 10 under Ollie, which I think was him in his best role, and the numbers he got was record breaking. Whether it's in this 6 role, he's playing in the 6 this season. He's got the most goal contribution since the start of November, more than Haaland, more than Mbappe. He's playing in the 6 role. He's playing in the 6 role. He's created the most chances this season. 5 consecutive years in a row, he's created the most chances in the league. In a side that has had 3 or 4 different systems, 3 or 4 different managers, and he's still done it. Under all these managers, under all these systems, out of position, in position, crap teammates around him, he broke the record for most expected assists in the season, but came 3rd in the assist chart because we couldn't finish our dinner. You know, I honestly, generally believe that I just think Bruno is a top 5 Premier League player, and I just think that, like, he's not someone worth selling because he's irreplaceable. Yes, you could get 60, 70 million. You can get 56 million for Bruno in the summer. He's aging, is on high wages. How are you going to replace Bruno with 56 million? How are you going to... And apparently the talk of him going to Saudi was for 70 million. 70 million isn't enough to replace Bruno with. You could say, look, sell Bruno, gives us the funds for Elliot Anderson. Elliot Anderson is what we need in the pivot. But then we miss the creativity of Bruno. You can't replace Bruno with a single player. For me, you need Elliot Anderson and Cole Palmer to replace Bruno Fernandes. That's what you need. You need creativity. You need someone off the ball. Because Bruno Fernandes was only 2nd behind Moises Caicedo last season for ball recoveries. 3rd was Elliot Anderson. 2nd was Bruno Fernandes. 1st was Moises Caicedo. People say it's a liability off the ball. I don't know if he's necessarily a liability off the ball. The system's a liability off the ball. He came 2nd for ball recoveries. He is 1st to passes. Almost 1st to ground covered. I just think he's an absolutely nuts player. And maybe I'm overhyping him. But I just personally think to go to Bruno and say, you'd be doing us a favour if you left. Financially, yes, Bruno would help Ineos out if he left. But I generally think if we didn't have Bruno this season, there's a couple of 3 points I don't think we get. There's a couple of 3 points I don't think we get last season without Bruno Fernandes in the squad. It's not just also what he brings in the team, it's his leadership, which is much better than he gets credit for. For me, I think he knows the club. Bruno Fernandes, to me, knows the club inside and out. He knows what Manchester United's about, you know? He knows what we're about. And to want him gone and think him going does us a favour, I don't agree with. He knows the club in and out. He knows what the club's about. I'm liking Bruno. I think he's got creativity. Without him, who creates? Who creates without Bruno Fernandes? And some people are like, he needs to go. Is he frustrating in the pivot? Yes. Just more than moving further up and put Mainoo in the pivot. It's not hard. Anyway, a lot of people think Bruno's part of the problem. But I think Bruno is generally one of the best players in Premier League history. And I might be deluded. But I generally will die on that hill that Bruno was one of the best players in Premier League history. I generally will. And anyway, we're not 15th, we're 5th. We're 5th. I just think I think he's one of those that when he goes, we'll appreciate him. I do. We have to move on at some point, and look, he doesn't suit the system long term, but have we seen enough from Amran in his system to say, sell Cobby, sell Bruno, and bring in midfielders that are going to suit Amran's system? We've not seen enough from Ruben Amorim to think that selling Cobby and Bruno and bringing in midfielders that suit the system is the answer, because I think Cobby and Bruno are 2 of our most talented players. You know, I generally do. The best players win the big trophies. That's a measure of a top player. Harry Kane. Harry Kane's one of the best strikers in Premier League history. Steven Gerrard. So I don't disagree with that. I don't agree with that argument. I think you can be the best player and still not win a lot. I do. Like Marco Reus was a fantastic player. I don't know if he won much. I know he won a World Cup. No, he didn't win the World Cup because he was injured. He doesn't touch LPL greats. He doesn't because he's not. I think he's that player that I think was good enough to get into the side with the PL greats, but he can't touch them because of the team that he plays in because he hasn't got the Premier League stuff. Totti, yeah. Our attack is absolutely fire. It's underrated. I legit think we might finish with the most goals this season. Well, we're going to lose Ahmad and Mbumo. We're going to lose Ahmad and Mbumo for a couple of games, so I don't want to jinx that. But we have a great attack. We don't have a good defence, and I don't think it's the individuals in defence. I think it's the structural setup. I think the structural setup in defence is messy. But obviously, that's what's been said on Bruno. Sam C said this as well. It might be worth noting what Bruno told the press in October. The manager spoke with me. He said I was still part of the project. He wanted me to stay. The club said the same. I've always said that if the club was like, Bruno, we want to cash in on you and you're 30 years old, we want to make some money, we don't think you can be part of a future project or whatever, I would be like, okay, I need to find a solution, whatever's best for me. Obviously, that wasn't the case. I still felt part of the plan. So it's interesting, the quotes, because Bruno in the past has basically said he stayed because the manager made him feel like part of the project, but now he's coming out in an interview last week and saying, oh, the club wanted him gone. I get the impression that Ineos would like to sell him, but Amorim was against selling him, and he stayed because Amorim made it pretty obvious he was part of the project. I think Amorim wanted Bruno to stay. Amorim made it pretty obvious Bruno was part of the project. I think that's why he stayed, generally. Do you think Ineos are cowards? Yeah, I do. I think they are cowards. Do you think they should sack Amorim? Do you know what? Yes, obviously. But I'm not blaming Amorim for yesterday. I see a lot of anger at Amorim. I see a lot of rage, a lot of anger at Amorim. I just said with Amorim, the reason I'm against Amorim is because he doesn't entertain me and he makes the wrong substitution goals and he doesn't try and win games. Yesterday, I was entertained and I was happy with Amorim's subs and I was happy with Amorim's approach. Yes, out of possession, it costed us. I wasn't mad at Amorim yesterday. I know a lot of people were screaming Amorim out this morning, and I am Amorim out. But yesterday, I felt a bit happy about Amorim. I know we dropped points to Bournemouth, but I felt a bit happy about Amorim. And the reason behind that was because I was like, oh, at least I'm entertained. Maybe my standards have got too low. But I was entertained yesterday for the first time in a while. Like, I'm annoyed that we bottled the lead. But I was like, at least he went to a back four, brought on Mainoo. We then got those 2 goals once we went to a back four, and we were entertained. I've been anti-Amorim because it's been negative, not entertaining, and not getting points. If it's entertaining, if it's positive, and it's getting, 5th, 6th place points, it's like, okay, we've got something to build on. But structurally, yes, he's got so much wrong out of possession and probably needs to go for the better of this club. Yeah. The interesting thing that Bruno said is then you see players around you who don't value the club and defend the club as much as you do. That makes me sad. That is an interesting bit from Bruno. That is an interesting bit from what Bruno said there. I do agree that is interesting. He's saying other players don't value or care about the club as much as he does, and that makes him sad. I do think that was interesting from Bruno. Everyone is better than Bruno Fernandes till it's time to be better than Bruno. Yeah, Xavi Simons is better than Bruno. Is he? Florian Wirtz was better than Bruno. Is he? Eberiche Eze is apparently better in the 10 than Bruno. He's got 1 hat-trick versus Tottenham and then been quiet. Martin Odegaard was better than Bruno. Everyone is better than Bruno until it's time to be better than Bruno. That is probably the most facts article. That is the most facts part of the article. It was entertaining. At least we were entertained. Were you not entertained yesterday? Should we be beating Bournemouth at home? Yes. Is dropping 7 points at home a disgrace? Yes. But I was entertained. I was actually entertained. Oh, we're 6th. All right. Potato, potato, but yeah. I actually was entertained for a change. How are Ineos cowards for letting Bruno decide his fate? No, I was talking about something else. I think they're not making a strict decision on Amorim. United have reiterated today there's no desire from the club to sell Bruno, despite the interview that came out a few weeks ago. Manchester United have confirmed Bruno Fernandes' interview was conducted a few weeks ago with the Portuguese national side. Manchester United's interest in Anton Semenyo is active. Bournemouth would only consider a move with an outgoing. Semenyo is calm about his future and waiting to see which clubs commit to triggering his or matching his clause, which drops by 5 million in the summer. So Man United have an active interest in Semenyo, has been reported. It has been reported by Sky Sports that United are firmly in the race to sign Semenyo from Bournemouth, and Semenyo has a 65 million release clause. United have not actively been looking to sign another forward in January, but believe there's an opportunity to sign Semenyo, which will come next month for a set price, is something they might generally consider. So there's now also reports coming out that United might go for Semenyo in January. Obviously, there's Kobbie Mainoo's brother acting like an idiot. There's Bruno saying that the club wanted to sell him. And there's also reports that Agate might go to Nice. There's a lot to talk about. So let's get into this Agate Nice story. OGC Nice are trying to sign Manuel Agate on loan in January. The player is open to leaving Manchester United next month, but he's not particularly keen on Nice. So Nice is another Ineos-owned club that want Agate. I feel like Ineos are like so done with him. They're like, we'll use our other club to take him off our hands. No, I'm literally joking about that. But I don't think Agate or Mainoo is going to go anywhere in January because Casemiro is now suspended. We've only got Bruno, Agate, and Mainoo, 3 players that can cover those 2 roles. I feel like just unless we bring in a midfielder, I can't see us letting a midfielder go in January. Like, I think Kobbie Mainoo showed his quality yesterday and showed that he should be starting games this season. He was fantastic when he came on. And sadly, his brother acting like a knobhead will probably take the attention away from Kobbie's good performance because his brother wanted to get all the attention on him. But I can't see Agate going anywhere unless we're bringing in a midfielder in January because I think we'll be quite thin on depth. So why was the interview a few weeks ago but dropping now? Maybe because he had a good performance and think it'd have most impact. I don't know. Who knows? Alice, do you want to be entertained or win games? I want both. But what I'm saying is we're not consistently winning games and I'm not entertained. Yeah? Let's say we come 6th under Ruben Amorim this season and it's awful football and we get 6th. I'm not convinced. I'm not happy. If we come 6th under Amorim this season and it's good football, it's entertaining football, it's attacking football with attacking intent, I'm a lot more happy about the future of this club and the direction of do you know what I mean? It's like we're getting mixed results and I'm bored. If we're getting mixed results, showing a desire to win games and entertaining, I'm more likely to get behind it. Because if you're not getting results, at least show that you're improving the youth, entertaining the fans. Do you know what I mean? Ange finished 17th, and those Tottenham fans are calling out Thomas Frank and want Ange back after finishing 17th. Because apparently he entertained them and Thomas Frank bored them. I mean, I think that's crazy, but yeah. Mainoo was excellent, but he's not match fit. That's the one thing about Mainoo is I don't think he could play 90. And that's not his fault. It's because the manager's not giving him the minutes. I thought that Mainoo was very good on the ball when he came on. Yeah. You could buy Semenyo and drop Mason into midfield. Do you know what? This is what I mean. This is why I think we should buy Semenyo. Let's go to chosen11.com. So there's talk of Man United changing to a 4-3-3, yeah? But our only out-and-out wingers are... not Cunha. Our only out-and-out wingers are Ahmad and Mbeumo, yeah? So if we change to a 4-3-3, you've got Semenyo and Mbeumo, you've got Sesko or maybe Cunha up here, you've all of a sudden got Ahmad here, you can play Mount left wing if you need to, Xerxes would be moved on, but that's really good depth if you go to a 4-3-3. You've then got Bruno here, and then Mount can also play here, if he moves Bruno deeper. You've got Mainoo to go here, and occasionally he may play Bruno deeper and play midfield 3 of Bruno, Mount, Casemiro. And you've got Casemiro here, and I'm not even going to include a guy because I think he's done at the club. Delo in a back 4 is actually all right. You got Shaw, and then you got Dorgu. Mazraoui for me is better than Delo. Mazraoui in a back 4 is absolutely mint. So then you've got Mazraoui who's really good in the back 4. You've got Yoro, and you've got, I think De Ligt will be ahead of Yoro. You've got De Ligt, and you've got Yoro as your right centre-backs. You've got Leacher, Heaven as your left centre-backs. I've not put Maguire in there just because he's out of contract in the summer. But you can put Maguire in there as well. That's not bad. Tell me, 4-3-3, I just think gets the best out of our team. Obviously, in the summer, we go all out for someone like Elliot Anderson. Boom. Boom, 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 boom. Semenyo, Elliot Anderson, 4-3-3. There's questions over maybe left back long term. But that's a good team. I'm all for Semenyo if we're going into a 4-3-3. Not if we went to 4-3-3, I'd be very all over Semenyo, to be honest. If we went to a 4-3-3. Mainoo in a midfield three of a proper pivot would be class. Yeah. I would like to see a midfield three to help us control games out of possession, because it doesn't matter who plays, we're crap out of possession in midfield. And I honestly think we could sign two of the best out of possession midfielders in the world and we still be crap out of possession in midfield. We need a midfield three for stability. Shaw can't play left back last night. Left back anymore. Did you not see last night? I don't think it was all on Shaw. Like, I don't mind Shaw at left back. I think he's just got to get used to it. He's not played there for a while. It's rusty. He's just rusty, but I'm all for that. I want to talk about a few things. I want to talk about Kobbie Mainoo's brother, who, honestly, to be honest, I think is an attention seeker. I think Kobbie Mainoo's brother is a big old attention seeker. Look at this. Oh, let me share my screen. I just think it's just such attention seeking. Free Kobbie Mainoo. So he goes to Old Trafford with his free Kobbie Mainoo shirt on. Yeah? And then he takes pictures of himself and puts it on Instagram. Kobbie had a really good 30-minute cameo, and you've taken all the attention away from your brother's good 30-minute cameo so you can ride off his fame. It's embarrassing. People talk about Garnacho's brother. Garnacho's brother was annoying, but Garnacho's brother was 15, 16, all right? Garnacho's brother didn't know better. Garnacho's brother was a 15, 16-year-old kid on social media. Kobbie Mainoo's brother is 30. 30. Let that sink in. 30-year-old man. 30-year-old man should know that even if he's supporting his brother, that's not going to do him any favours. Kobbie hasn't got a good relationship with Amarin. Kobbie can't get in the squad. Kobbie finally gets more than 5 minutes off the bench, plays really well, gets 30 minutes, takes his opportunity, and his brother goes and not only wears that, but then posts him wearing that on Instagram to make a big deal. All he's done is cause his brother more issues. You're 30 years of age. You're his brother. The club will see that. He's played well. You don't, I'm sorry, if you really cared about your brother and your brother's career, you don't wear that to a match. Because you know, as a 30-year-old man, all that's going to do is cause Kobbie problems with Amarin. But you wanted the attention. You wanted the attention of your brother. You wanted the attention, and that's why you wore it. And you got paid to wear it, and you made a bit of money off of it. But I think he's done Kobbie absolutely no favours. He's done Kobbie Mainoo absolutely no favours. He's 30 years of age. He should know better. He should know better. We can say free Mainoo because we're just people on the internet. His brother's good. His brother's just looking for attention. It's embarrassing. Do you think Le Mans did well? Yeah, I think he did. I think he could have saved the free kick, but I think he saved us at the end. People being very critical of Le Mans and the free kick, but he saved us at the end, and Nana wouldn't have saved that. What did you like about last night? Why are you being more positive than normal? Because I think Amarin actually made some positive subs and showed a willingness to adapt. And my biggest criticism of Amarin is his stubbornness. He showed a willingness to adapt. What's funny about Kobbie Mainoo's surname is he didn't start using his Mainoo surname until Kobbie burst on the scene. I know. He just wants to ride off Kobbie's fame. Yeah. Anyway, people, I'm going to wrap up today's live show. I'm going to do a video later today on the Semenyo transfer news and what's going on there. But big up everyone for watching. See you next time. Bye.